Alright, we're back live. Unfortunately, not able to catch the ending. Alright, well, we're still back live here. Kevin Smith is the winner here, so we will go ahead and pull him up if he's available for interviews. I need top 3 in for an interview if they're able to take one.
I'll do one.
Oh, we're going to. Man, I hate that happen. And Shane Hard does take the championship. So Alright, so I'll just jump in here since I can't pull everybody in here. Kevin Smith, you got a copy?
How's it going?
It's going, buddy. According to my results here, you are the winner tonight for the season finale. Just take me through how it feels to finally get this one done in what was a sort of calm race up until the end, from what I heard.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, it was pretty calm. Green flag pit stops all the way through. I had Colton and Richard with me the whole time, and we kind of just commanded the whole race.
Yeah, through all the way through, it would appear a lot of drivers were struggling on pit entry. Um, what was your take on it? Did you have any issues? Because the main issue looked like a lot of drivers were just locking up the brakes too hard. Like, is that just a product of this truck since the update, or what's your take on it?
I didn't feel like there was anything wrong with I believe I only locked up one time, but yeah, the pit stops are pretty good. The entry to pit road, that's where we were beating them. Entry and the exit to pit road.
All right, buddy. We'll get in touch with some other drivers on that. But real quick, anybody you want to shout out to? Pretty nice Captain Crunch truck, by the way. Is there anybody you want to shout out real fast?
Just my teammate Richard and Colton for hanging out with me tonight too, as well. Everybody that's watching, go get yourself a nice bowl of peanut butter Captain Crunch.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations tonight. Believe you finished second last night and then follow up tonight with a win. Congratulations. Look forward to seeing you around next season. With that being said, Colton Ward, you got a copy?
Appreciate us.
Hello.
All right, buddy. P2 here. After what was a pretty calm race from what it sounds like, what was your take on tonight?
Yeah, I was just set and following. I was gonna push Justin, and then that mishap happened on pit road. And then, I think after that, Aaron went for a ride on my front end.
Yeah, we saw. Yeah, we saw that. Neither one resulting in a caution. Both, first one being on pit road, the other one was Aaron spinning to the apron, kind of out of the way of everybody. I'll ask you again what I just asked you as far as pit entry was concerned. Did you feel like the struggles that a lot of drivers had on pit road, do you feel like that was all driver error, or do you think they're just, since this new update, is there something iffy with the trucks? What's your take on it?
No, I mean, I think I kind of took it easy coming in, but I just think everyone was just driving it in too hard and locking up the brake.
Yeah, that's what it kind of what it looked like, but there was more than, to me, there was just a little bit more than what there was usual. Real fast here, is there anybody you want to thank tonight?
I would say my teammates, but they kind of messed up.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on a second place run tonight. Look forward to watching you on Friday nights. So,
All right.
and then Richard McMillian.
Yes, sir.
Well, but first of all, I'd like to say it's one of the best last names I think I've ever heard. But, but yeah, buddy, it was a pretty solid night for you tonight in your super speedway debut. What was your take on the whole race tonight?
It was pretty straightforward. I mean, people were struggling really bad getting on the pit road, and I locked up a little bit, but I was able to release it just to get it calmed down. And pit stops were on the money tonight. Got it on and off really good, and was able to cycle back up with the leaders. And then, like I say, we ran 1, 2, 3 the rest of the race, and I wasn't leaving my teammate no matter what. So I was going to push him to the win, or we were all going to wreck trying.
Yes, sir. I saw that. Was it kind of a surprise to you that the intensity wasn't all that high? Was it kind of a surprise that there weren't no much really three wide action like we're accustomed to with the Super Speedway series?
I think the smaller field calmed it down a little bit. Made a big difference. If you'd have had 30 cars in here, it probably would have been chaos.
I don't want to think about that neither. But real fast, but I know it's late. Is there anybody you want to shout out or thank tonight?
No, I just want to congratulate my teammate. I was going to push him no matter what. I'm glad he got the win.
All right, gentlemen. Congratulations to all three of you tonight on a top 3 run. Look forward to seeing what y'all have on Friday nights, and hope to see you when the Super Speedway Series Season 2 rolls around. That being said.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. That being said, we're saving the best for last year. We'll get Justin Millicar in. Justin Millicar, Garrett Jenkins got a copy.
Is there?
Well, buddy, I'm looking at the points. Unfortunately, you will come up short according to the iRacing points. Can you take us through, first of all, what happened on the first pit stop that kind of set all this up?
Just being on different pages. I was planning on staying to the yellow line because I had the first pit or the third pit box, and Colton was gonna follow in suit because he was a couple cars back. Mark, I guess he said he just misjudged it, was trying to be a little more aggressive on it, and ended up clipping me. From that point, I mean, I should have just, I guess, drove through the grass instead of trying to make pit road. So I got a speeding penalty, which was 40 seconds. I don't know. There wasn't much I could do there, to be honest. I think after that really sealed the fate. I tried to make it on one more stop, but it wasn't going to work out from there. I thought we executed those first 15 laps until we pitted perfectly, and, stuff's going to happen. So I don't blame Mark or anything like that. It's just, we're trying to win a championship, and like I said, I'd rather lose it trying to win than, lose it being in the back all day. So we went for it, and we missed this time.
did you have any hope whenever Shane ended up getting a speeding penalty for the same thing? Did you think that there was a chance here to potentially pull this one out, or did you just sort of know that it just wasn't going to come tonight?
At the point of after my penalty, and we were hoping for a caution. There were a few incidents of when Aaron came down across Colton's nose. I thought we were gonna get one, but we kind of kept it straight. So, yeah, I mean, it was pretty much over. I had lost hope pretty fast. My only option was to hope that I could make it on field, and Shane couldn't. But we both were on the same page of that and stuff. So nothing, from once we had the penalty, there's always hope for a caution. It was so early in the race. I don't think we were ever expecting it to go caution free, but probably from like the last 14 laps, 13 laps was when it kind of kicked in of like I had no chance. So it sucks, but like I said, we were going for it, and that's what's going to happen when you go for it. Sometimes you're going to swing too hard and swing yourself out of your shoes, and that's what happened.
Yes, sir, buddy. Real fast, I know you're ready to get out of here. Is there anybody you want to thank or shout out tonight?
Yeah, obviously, shout out to the team, Eternal Racing, along with the Milcar Motorsports, or I don't even know, that's like our temporary name type thing, but Colton and Mark for showing up tonight. Obviously, throughout the season, Aubrey wasn't here tonight, but all those guys that have helped me out and stuff like that. Thanks for you for broadcasting, everyone that shows up every weekend. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I tried and didn't succeed, but hopefully next season we'll come back and get it.
All right, buddy. It's a good effort all year. It's a great run all year. Justin Millicar will come home second in the points tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And let's go and get the champion of the Super Speedway Series in here. Shane Hard, Garrett Jenkins got a copy.
I do.
Well, buddy, unofficially, but according to what I'm looking at, buddy, you are the 2025 Season 1 Super Speedway champion. How does it feel to finally get this season off your back and walk out with a championship?
It feels pretty good, honestly. Kind of mad at myself for the speeding penalty I had mid race, but luckily, we were able to stick with the draft, and we just kind of rode at the end there. We finished eighth, so kind of a Mickey Mouse championship in my eyes, but I guess we'll take it.
Well, buddy, I do want to ask you more of all, for the record, you and Justin are the only two to have multi-wins this season, 2 apiece. But I do want to ask you, what was there? It wasn't just you that was having issues on pit road. There were several drivers who had issues on pit road. Justin Millicar included. We normally haven't seen that a lot this year. What was your take on it?
Oh no, I just think it was guys just trying to get onto pit road too hard. That was my case anyway. I locked the fronts up, and there was really no slowing down from there. So that was probably a lot of people's mistake, was just getting in too hard and locking up. And really, once you lock up, it's pretty much over.
Yeah, of course, that's ultimately what ended up sealing Justin Millicar's fate, was the mistake early on pit road. Is there anybody you want to thank for this season tonight? Anybody in general you want to give a shout out to? Because, like I said, unofficially, but pretty much officially, you are the Super Speedway champion. So, like I said, anybody you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, Elijah and Aaron over there on Hard Motorsports. They tried to help me as best they could tonight. We had a few mishaps during the race, and we ended up splitting up, but it all worked out. So shout out to them guys for being there all season for me and helping me get this one. I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. So shout out to them. Shout out to Justin for this league. It's a great league to run on Saturday nights, and there's a lot of good competition in here. So I can't wait for season 2 and what's to come. And of course, you up there in the booth, Garrett. make us look good every Saturday night.
I try to, but unfortunately, internet issues got me tonight, so that kind of ruined the end of the race. But I do got one more question for you, then I'll let you go here. Let you go celebrate with a couple beers I have all lighties. Normally we see the outside lane be able to build runs off the top of the corner, and normally, most cases, it's enough to potentially clear the leader, but we didn't see a lot of that tonight early in the race. Was it just because guys weren't pushing as hard as what they needed to be, or what was the situation there?
I was wondering that myself. A lot of it was, I don't know if it was really warm or what, but you could barely push without, starting to get hot. You can only push for 200-300 feet, it seemed, and you'd have to back off, otherwise you'd be red. So, a lot of it was probably guys getting warm in the draft and having to back off to get air to their motor.
Well, we noticed during the race, Elijah Fisher had the whole front end of that truck was beat in, and we were wondering if he was having overheating issues because of that. Because I did mention it's bad enough these things overheat, straight pushing for 2 or 3 laps straight. But then whenever you have damage to the front, that could compromise the radiator. That could really suck. But
yeah, he was complaining about it, so it definitely affected him. Just that little bit. That's all it takes, really.
All right, well, buddy, on behalf of Midnight Racing League in the Super Speedway Series, it is a privilege and an honor to say Shane Harr is your 2025 Season 1 Super Speedway Series champion. And he will look to defend his title next week, or not next week, but next season. And, buddy, congratulations. We look forward to see if you can repeat.
Heck yeah, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. With that being said, we'll do a quick running through here. Of course, the internet going out, blinking, whatever the heck happened with it. Kind of compromised it, but Kevin Smith, your winner, Colt Ward second, Richard McMillian third, Aaron Stanton, Elijah Fisher, that is the top 5. Frank Chavez, Tyler Henry, Shane Harr comes home 8th. It was good enough to retain the points lead and ultimately the championship. Mark Person comes in 9th, Aaron Rowland in 10th, Charlie Morgan 11th, Gordon Gladwell 12th, Justin Millicar after an incredible season comes up short. Brain Powers in 14th, Corey Wright in 15th. With that being said, I will personally apologize on the broadcast going out due to internet issues. But with that being said, in retrospect, it was an awesome season to watch from first to last. And I will personally thank Justin Millicar for allowing me to broadcast these races. And I hope that he will allow me to keep doing so in the future. But that will be it for tonight, everybody. Monday night, Inspired Racing League takes on the Tricky Road Course of Bathurst. And that will be right here on the Raging Idiot Racing Network. With that being said, I'm Garrett Jenkins. Shane Harr is your 20. Shane Harr is your 2025 Super Speedway Series champion. And with that being said, we will see you Monday night. Everybody have a good night.